All right, guys, I have moved on to working on the pockets for the top of the vest. One of the things I absolutely want with this vest is a pocket for my cell phone. And so what I did is I took one of these, this square. This was just one of the top pockets from those cargo shorts, and so I salvaged two of these, and I took one of them and basically folded over two flaps in it to make the pocket a little bit more narrow, just narrow enough to fit my cell phone. And then I also cut a little bit off the bottom, and I'm going to fold it under whenever I go to sew it on, like so. Well, not that crooked, but you get the idea. Now the reason why I did this fold over and flap thing is I'm trying to mimic the look of these pockets. Um, since I'm using this style of pocket on the bottom, if I make a pocket for the top, I really should try to mimic that for this other pocket. So that's why. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just sew the flaps, and then this will be ready to sew in place. Probably what I'll do is I'll just take some scrap material. Matter of fact, I may just use this pocket and just flip it over, shorten it up a little bit, and make a flap for the top of it. And I've got plenty of Velcro. I can just sew a little bit of Velcro on here and a piece on here, and just have a flap for the pocket. And basically, what I have then will be a smaller version of these larger pockets on the bottom. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm going to keep going, and I'll show you this when I get done. All right, guys, I took this cell phone pocket and I laid it down on the upper panel, and it looks like it's pretty much going to take up all the real estate on that upper panel. So I think on the left side, the only thing I'm going to have there is going to be the cell phone pocket. I was thinking what I might do is in this little strip right here, maybe fashioning a thin little slotted piece for like putting like an ink pen or something in, just a little additional something to go in this area. I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. We'll see. I'm thinking on the other side, what I'm going to do is fashion a very simple slotted pocket for pens and that kind of stuff. So if I do that, I don't really need to do anything here. Maybe I'll just leave this like it is. All right, guys, what are we going to do for these other pockets? Well, one of the things that I definitely would like to have is a pocket for a flashlight. I like these little small 3-cell LED flashlights. If you work on cars or work on anything, these things are a must have. I always like to have one of these with me while I'm traveling, just in case I have a breakdown or something happen while I'm on the road. Just always nice to have. So I thought, coming up with a little pouch or pocket for a LED flashlight would be a nice thing to have. So I thought what I would do is I would just recycle this little square of fabric, and just, cut it down to size, and then just, create a little pouch for a flashlight. No big deal. What I do need to do is figure out how to close the end Otherwise, you know what's going to happen is it's just going to fall out the bottom. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to salvage one of the belt loops off of those shorts. Again, keeping with that concept of, you know, salvage and reuse, I'm going to take a belt loop off, sew it to the bottom, and then loop it under and sew it to the vest, and then that will create a bottom for that flashlight pocket. So creative reuse again. So I'm going to get started on that. This is going to take very long. Now, what else am I going to do? Besides a cell phone, I already did the cell phone pocket. Besides a flashlight pocket, what I would like to have is a very simple slotted pocket for putting, you know, a pen, a pencil, you know, contractor pencil, you know, just maybe three slots. Nothing, just real simple, just 3 slots where I could slip in, you know, anything that I'm using, pen, pencil, needle nose pliers, you know, just, you know, real simple. Doesn't need to be very big, you know, probably about that big is all I would really need. Again, like I said, real simple, nothing sophisticated here. So I'm going to get started on these 2. After that, it's really time to start putting this vest together. Guys, where'd we leave off this project? Just a quick update. I've got one panel almost finished. You can see where I had to redo my lines a little bit. I also do something that the purists probably frown on, and that is I just write on my material. I use a regular leaded pencil, and I figure it will come off after 1 or 2 times through the laundry. So I had to adjust my line just a little bit, but otherwise not too bad. I got the top panel on, the bottom panel. I've got that inside pocket panel on. So now, you know, whenever you reach inside here, you know, you're reaching down there. So this whole area becomes, you know, a secure pocket. Now it's time to start talking about putting a zipper on this thing. And I'm kind of changing up a little bit what I'm going to do with my zipper. Normally what I would do with a zipper is I would just sew it right on, reversed. So like, here's an example. So I would take the zipper, sew it on backwards, and then when I was done, I would take the whole thing and flip it under. And then you get, you know, a finished edge with a zipper. The problem is I've got, you know, 2 layers of material down here, and there's, you know, 1, 2, 3, you know, 3 or 4 layers in here. So, you know, folding this under is going to be a bit, you know, hard to do. Oh, brother, here comes trouble. Yeah, I know. I hear you. Why do you have to interrupt every time I'm trying to talk? Anyway, guys, what I was explaining was, and I kept getting interrupted by the cat, is there's too much material here for me to try to fold this under to do the zipper the way I would normally do. So I have my zipper sandwiched between... Really? All right, guys, I have tried to record this at least 4 times, and the cat keeps interrupting. What I'm going to do, rather than try and do the, sew the zipper on and fold this under, I've put the zipper in between 2 flaps of material. And then what happens is the 2 strips of material are going to basically, let me get this back here so you guys can see it. The strips of material are going to like encapsulate the end of the vest panel, like so. And it'll just, create like a nice clean line going all the way up the length of the front of the vest. And another thing too, and I don't know whether you can pick this up well on the video, but there's just a little bit of a subtle color variation between this material here that I made the zipper compartment out of and the regular panel material. And this zipper assembly material is from the same pair of pants that this strip of material came from. So you have, this is one color, this is a different color, and then, of course, the pockets are a different color also. So I've got like a tricolor thing going on. All right, guys, this is the inside, and you can see I've got the excess material here trimmed off to, 1/4 of an inch or so. And so what's going to happen is this flap will fold around that excess material edge, just like so, and then this inside edge will tuck under. Oops, sorry about hitting the camera. Will tuck under like so, and it'll get, a line of stitching along here, probably followed by a second line, and then there'll be a line of stitching out here, followed by a second line. Now this will correspond to, if I flip this over, to the front here, then the front flap will do the exact same thing. It will fold back under like so, and with the edge tucked under. Now, the critical thing is when I go to run that line of stitches on this outside edge, I've got to make absolutely sure that where this is laying, is exactly on top of where the bottom one is laying, because when I go to stitch this, I'm going to have to stitch through both layers at once. So, a little bit tricky, but not, not undoable by any means. But the first thing I've got to do first is do this line of stitching on this outside edge, and that's not really all that difficult. So I tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and run. There's going to be 4 lines of stitches I'm going to have to run. I'm just going to go ahead and do them, and then I'll show you the final product when it's done. All right, there you go, guys. A dressed edge for the zipper. And I gotta say, I really kind of like that. It really gives it a really crisp, clean line. Now, the last thing I have to do on this panel is I've got to put my little utility pockets up here at the top, my little flashlight pocket, which probably what I'll do is I'll put the, put the pencil pocket closest and put the flashlight pocket behind it. What I was also thinking about maybe doing is putting the pencil pocket, say about right there, and then I could do the flashlight pocket long ways. Actually it would go like this. Like that. Oops, you guys can't see that. So, yeah, I haven't decided yet. Do I want to put it this way, or do I want to put them side by side that way? I don't know. Haven't decided yet. Probably when I go to sew this thing together, I'm leaning more towards bringing that up to about like so, and putting that flashlight pocket more down there. Get, 1 or 2 minutes cat free here. I'll explain what's going on. I basically have 2 roughly completed front panels. I still have to put the banding around the bottom, but for the most part they're done. I still have to do the treatment around the arm opening, but like I said, by and large they're pretty much there. Pockets in place, cell phone pocket in place, pencil pocket in place, LED flashlight pocket in place. Like I said, these things are pretty much done. But now it's time to take a moment and check my pattern and see if I'm still, roughly keeping with the original pattern. And what I'm finding out is that I'm straying a little bit from the pattern. And I'm going to pull this down and show you why. Now, hopefully that doesn't fall off the table. Okay. I'm going to bring my pattern in. And what you will see is that I'm off on my neckline. I'm not off by much right here. I'm not off a terrible amount, but I'm still off. I have enough material over here to, bite into to get a seam. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the point of this pattern, this bit right here, right where the bend is in the material, and just work from there. Like I said, enough material over here to make a seam. So now what I have to do is, I know that I'm going to have to do something with where I'm not following the pattern, and I think the simplest thing to do is going to be to bring the shoulder part, because this part all up in here, remember, is going to be a different piece. It's going to be that shoulder piece. It'll be a shoulder front and shoulder back. So, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip it over. Put that right on the point again. And what you'll see is, I'm off. My line is off on the neckline. Not a lot, but just off. But now what you'll see is, originally, get my pointer in here. Here's originally where my line was going to be for the shoulder piece. But the easiest way to compensate for this line being off here is basically just to cut all that out completely. Let's go back. Let me pull this back over. I threw a couple of pencils in the pencil pocket there. And realistically, all I need to do is just allow enough clearance, for a pencil or a pen or something in this pocket. And I can bring this shoulder piece down, theoretically, I could bring it all the way down to there if I wanted. And the advantage of bringing it down is I could, in theory, let me put this back in place. Put it over here where I've got the line. So here's my pattern. My original line was here. But let's say I bring it down to there. It cuts out all of that errant angle, and it gives me this whole space here where I could theoretically put another pocket of some sort. I got plenty of this material. I could, craft some little, something. Since I've got the material and I'll have the space. Oh, here's the big boy. I might as well do something. Anyway, oh gosh, both of them's up here now. Oh, quit. Okay, guys, I'm going to sign off because I'm not going to get anything done. But you get the general idea before there's any more butt sniffing going on here. So yeah, I think I'm going to drop that line and drop that line, make the shoulder piece bigger, and then put a small pocket of some sort up here in the shoulder. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to let these guys play, and I'll pick this up tomorrow.